Welcome, one and all, in here, out there, all around the world, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it happened. Donald Trump is president again. Hey, remember what Obama said? Don't boo, vote. And if possible, do that several months ago. Apparently, from that reaction, I would say some of you have unpleasant feelings about all this. So I have an important announcement to make. For the next 4 years, we get to live by airport rules. Calories don't count. And it's perfectly reasonable to have a vodka tonic at 8 a.m. Who knows what time it is where you're gonna land? That's the time you're on. A lot of people have said to me, and I'm sure to some of my writers too, they say, oh, I bet deep down you're feeling kind of good because with Trump coming back, the jokes write themselves. And I just want to say, if you don't like the jokes tonight, it's not our fault. The jokes wrote them. So, where do you begin?
Yeah.
Off we go, first of all. How do you make sense of today? How did we get here? Well, Secretary of Defense Don Rumsfeld had these famous axioms. He had 3 of them. There was there are known knowns, things that you know that you know. There are known unknowns, things that you don't know. And then there are unknown unknowns, things that you don't know that you don't know. And he said that last group was the most dangerous. But he never completed the quartet of the possible combinations. The final, in my opinion, the most dangerous one is there are unknown knowns. Things that we know, but we choose to unknow for some reason.
Come on.
Well, for some reason, and it may be a perfectly understandable reason, the American people have decided to unknow what they definitely knew about Donald Trump.
Right?
Well, today... Today, the great remembering began. It was a frigid day down in Washington, so at the last minute, Trump moved his inauguration indoors. Totally understandable. So, Mr. President, it is with the utmost respect that I say, always the big, strong, greatest president ever. Feeling a little chewy? You want some hot cocoa with marshmallows? You weather cuck. Now, Trump announced the change of venue on Truth Social, posting, I have ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the United States Capitol Rotunda, as was used by Ronald Reagan in 1985, also because of very cold weather. Okay, you can't act like you're doing it just because of Reagan. Honey, it's not that I couldn't perform in bed last night. It's just that out of respect for President Carter, I'm flying at half staff. Instead, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. The smart choice. Instead, so they held the ceremony in the Capitol Rotunda, or as it looked from the dome camera, the Freedom Pit. The thing is, the Rotunda can only hold approximately 700 people, which means Trump's inauguration crowd can now be officially called the smallest of all time. Probably why he did it. Probably why he did it. Trump swears his crowds are normally very big, but you can't tell because it's so cold. One person who wasn't bothered by the cold weather was Senator John Fetterman, who arrived at the Capitol in shorts. It's the most surprising cold weather inauguration look since 2020 when Bernie Sanders wore those mittens and nothing else. Looks good. You gotta say it looks pretty good. Wow. Melania Trump made a real statement with her look. That statement, I am Carmen Sandiego. That's the first reaction. That's the first reaction, obviously, but it's not entirely fair. She also looks like the guy from Spy vs. Spy. And I know what some of you were saying. This is the first lady we're talking about. Shouldn't you say she looks like J. Robert Oppenheimer? Which is actually much more fair, especially given her motto, be death. when our new president finally entered the rotunda, he immediately tried to kiss his wife and, oops, denied by the hat. Now we know why the brim is so big. It serves the same sanitary function as the sneeze guard on a salad bar. New York tenor Christopher Macchio sang the national anthem and then was named Secretary of Getting You Folks a Nice Table in the Corner. Calamari's on the house. Then Trump was sworn in by Chief Justice Roberts. One problem, Trump did not place his hand on the Bible for the oath of office. Now, when the ceremony was going to be outside, he was going to put his hand on the Bible, but when they moved it inside, the fire marshal wouldn't allow it. Here's the thing. There you go. Safety first. Safety first. Here's the thing, if he doesn't touch the Bible, is he really president? I mean, who did touch the Bible? Melania. Is she president now? Could the hat be president? It clearly believes in a strong border. Then Trump got up there and gave his speech. Unlike 8 years ago, it wasn't all pure darkness. Just most of it. Some of it was just plain weird.
The golden age of America begins right now.
Yeah, well, when he's right, he's right. The golden age is just around the corner because we're getting brand new episodes of Elsbeth. Elsbeth, she'll find out who stole the missing vowels from her name. Thursdays at 10. Overall, the speech was a predictable hodgepodge of well-worn complaints and grim news. Here's how he addressed the tragic wildfires in California.
They're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting.
Yes. Yes. And that's an interesting way to express condolences. It's like those Hallmark cards. I'm fascinated by your loss. Weird. Of course, today is also Martin Luther King Day. And Trump promised, yeah, well agreed. I agree wholeheartedly. And in his speech, Trump promised that his presidency would honor Dr. King's legacy.
Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor. But in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Yes, we will make his dream come true. And that dream was, of course, buying Greenland. I don't know why. Not sure. Maybe that's where the mountaintop was. I don't know. He had his own reasons. In his speech, Trump made a pledge to the nation.
We are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley.
And the Atlantic Ocean is now the Miami Pond, and I am officially heretofore renaming my penis the Baconator, available for a limited time only at participating Wendy's. Trump also, don't encourage me. Don't encourage that sort of joke. Trump also laid out his plan for American imperialism. First, he threatened to invade Panama and then invade the rest of the universe.
We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's manifest destiny in space. After the speech, it was time for the benediction.
Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that you gave our 45th and now our 47th president a millimeter miracle.
It's also what Stormy Daniels called it. We're back, baby! We're back! We're back. But you know what? You know what? That brings up an important point. You know, that stormy joke. Today represents, I believe, a turning point, turning page for all Americans. Whether you supported Trump or not, no matter how much we think we know what's going to happen over the next 4 years, we don't know. We all have to look at the president with fresh eyes and let go of all the things that he did during his first term and look to the future. Right, Mr. President?
2020, by the way, that election was totally rigged.
He told us to inject bleach, and I still believe there's a pee-pee tape. Russia, if you're listening, let the golden age begin. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are the hosts of Pod Save America, but when we come back, I'll be right here with more Monologue.